thought I would be like the successful filmmaker. I thought I would have a big career by now. And it was like this anxiety and like depression, the two best friends of not being where I wanted to be, that gave way to this film. So I sort of channeled the challenges that I was going through and put them in this like outlandish character.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I want to say congratulations on And Now I Lay Me Down's festival run success.
Thank you so much.
Yes. How are you feeling about it?
I feel great about it, especially when I can actually go to the film festivals. But it's a really fun time. I have six coming up. I've never had that many coming up, so it feels really good. And one coming up where you are in New York City, the Imagine This Women's Film Festival, that starts September 11th, and it's screening on the 13th there. I'm plugging already, but it will be
Yes.
online. It will be available to be streamed through that festival, so that's cool. Yeah.
Oh my God. Good to know. Well, I've seen it twice now, but
Oh my God.
I'm always down to see it again.
You don't have to watch it three times.
Well, it was so funny. I feel like the second time I watched, I laughed even more. You pick
So
up on
good.
more things when you watch again. So,
Honestly, it's so obnoxious, but like I would ideally love people to watch it twice because it's one of those films that you will look at it differently the next time you watch it. It might be much to ask for people. Like you have to watch it twice, but
as a movie lover, I think that that's like the minimum
yeah,
requirement.
I agree.
For those who don't know, Ronnie is a director and a writer with her film screening at over 50 international festivals, winning awards across numerous categories. Your most recent short, And Now I Lay Me Down, which you have written and directed, is about a once famous soap star named Celia Dalvey who wakes up to divorce papers and a dying career and decides to stage a farewell tour of her own. What itch were you trying to scratch when creating and actualizing this project?
Totally my itch of like getting older and being in the industry. I'm not an actor, so I don't deal with it in the same way that I think that an actress might, depending on the person. But I definitely was like, oh my God, I'm getting older. And I thought I would be like the successful filmmaker. I thought I would have a big career by now. And it was like this anxiety and like depression, the two best friends of not being where I wanted to be, that gave way to this film. So I mean, I got the silver lining of that because I made, I used my pain for art, which is ideal. I think for me, it's like my therapy. So I sort of channeled, the challenges that I was going through and put them in this like outlandish character.
And I mean, it's paying off. You have your most film festivals, as you just said, coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't
Okay.
afford to go to all of them, but that's the funny thing about getting into a lot of them. It's like, I'll go to some. I'll go to some.
Have you been able to already?
Yeah, I think I've been to like five maybe so far, and it's always so wonderful to see your film big. The previous film I made was 20 years ago, and I never would have imagined that it would be 20 years before I would see a film I made in a theater again. And it made me want to go to more festivals because last time I didn't go to a lot of the film festivals my film was at, and then because I thought I would just be right back there soon. You don't know that.
Yeah, this is literally the most unpredictable career of all time.
It
But
is.
how was it watching with an audience?
It's really great. And like, it's funny because every audience is different. Sometimes people laugh a lot at some parts and not at others. But I always get a huge reaction at the end, which is really what I want. It's really wonderful watching it with people. It's always the best when people laugh. You can always tell right away, like when something's funny, if it's a little laughter, you're like, oh, this kind of audience. You never know. But even when there's not a lot of laughter, I get a lot of warm feedback. So.
This film is a great depiction of how wealth can amplify isolation. Did any particular scene or moment serve as a metaphor for the emotional distance Celia experienced?
Gosh, I think I don't know if I would use the term metaphor, even though there might be. I just feel like she surrounded herself with like so much opulence and the idea of wealth, but I feel like that heightens the sort of emptiness that she was feeling. So I would make that sentiment. I'm sure there are metaphors in there somewhere, but I think I just wanted to show a woman living sort of this lavish existence. A great example of how, money doesn't buy you happiness. Everyone knows this, yet I think we still need to be reminded of this fact. One sort of metaphor, I don't even know, it's not necessarily a metaphor, but like motif, if you will, with flowers. Like she surrounds herself with these huge, expensive bouquets, but it's really the daisy, which I think of it as like the peasant flower, a flower that's free, that the gardener gives her, that she brushes off. Is like, ugh. And at the end, when she unexpectedly, spoiler alert, eats this daisy, it's kind of like her taking on um, the more humble way of life, if you will.
Yes,
So that's not a
yes.
metaphor, but that's how I answered your question.
No, I liked that, and I liked that the relationship in particular because there's a scene on the tennis court where he says like, "Oh, I replenished your flowers," and she's like, "Thank you." Like she really took that in, and we saw that maybe she even really did have like feelings for him, but she just didn't. I feel like she probably had trouble navigating that because she lived such a certain lifestyle.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually an interesting thing directing wise, because there were times where Jane was really revealing her like the subtle crush, and I had to like rein it in because I'm like, wait, I don't want this can only be so known. You know what I mean? It was like a
Right.
great lesson to always know where your character's at, emotionally, and where their character arc is and what the relationship is with the person, because it has to track correctly. So I wanted there to be a spark of what you said, like the
Yes.
idea of maybe a crush, but nothing like for sure.
Right. You know, growing up as like a woman or like be a girl to a woman, romance and love is so important. So it makes sense that she would feel that way. Yeah. I really liked that.
No, thank you.
There was a scene where Celia uses her wealth to perform generosity rather than being generous authentically. What were you trying to reveal about using financial security as a tool for connection?
Right. Well, that's her world, and that's how she relates. Like, that's how she gives. She would be giving with material things. So it was kind of like, for me, it was like she's recognizing the fact that she's probably been a bitch and a nightmare to work with for all these years, but she's having this sudden insight of like, oh, maybe I should be nice, and I want to we want to leave on good terms. So it's like, if she has like 1 minute, what is she going to do? Well, she's going to give material things, which is what she has. So that's one of my favorite scenes, and yeah, and it's like I think it's interesting to see her giving away like a fur, which is like so out of touch with today's youth, hopefully, and jewels and like so yeah, I really enjoyed that scene. There's something sort of old school about it, and I know I'm never really clinging to the idea of being realistic. I'm more interested in emotional truth. So it almost reminded me of like the movie Annie, like Daddy Warbucks, just like that, this like sort of fake wealth vibe. I don't know. I was trying to do that.
No, I understood that. Also, watching it the second time, I think the first time I watched, I had a lot of grace for her because I realized that she couldn't form those emotional bonds the way like most people could. It felt like a major underlying theme was grace. And what was the significance in integrating that in the way that you did?
Gosh, I don't know. I wanted her to feel sort of over the top and nutty, but I also wanted her to be intelligent. And I knew it was important to me to have her be vulnerable at some point, because I wanted to give an in to the audience to feel something for her before the ending, before the grand finale. So when she went in to call her daughter, I just knew that I wanted people to have a soft spot for her at this point. What was your question?
I was just saying you integrated grace so
Thank you.
seamlessly. Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's my answer. I knew exactly what I was saying. I feel like that scene provides her with some grace, of like this her just cutting clean, like calling her daughter, being speaking truthfully, and yeah, that was important to me. I ultimately want to make elegant films, even if they're nutty. Being having an elegant vibe is important, and I think elegance and grace go hand in hand.
Just super elegant too. Just the way
Thanks.
that she like floated around her house.
With that
What a
pink
dream.
robe. I gave that pink robe to Jane. My wardrobe costume designer, Flora Ronzoni, was great. I probably had more meetings with her about that robe than like any other department head, because it was like, it was like the star. It's like the star of the film is that robe. And I gave it to Jane. I don't know if she wears it, but I'm like, you better keep this.
That makes sense. In the wardrobe department, she wore robes. Like even when she ate the sushi, she was wearing
Yeah.
a robe. She was wearing all of these gowns. What significance did that have in the story, if it did?
That was just how I imagined her. I think it's funny now in hindsight. I never put together before that she was always wearing a robe. But yeah, the kimono is a robe. I think that I was thinking about an old school type of woman that doesn't even necessarily exist, like someone who's a little bit out of touch, and old money. Like I was thinking about, have you seen Harold and Maude?
No.
Anyway, I was thinking about like the mom in Harold and Maude who's like so funny and ridiculous and like almost having fun with what the idea of a wealthy person is rather than what it really is. And so I just didn't bother to ask myself, what would they really be wearing? I just had fun with it. I'm like, she needs to be wearing a pink, ridiculous robe, something that's like counters her pain. Like,
Right.
yeah.
There's always something about those out of touch characters who have like the biggest story to tell. Even within that out of touchness, they always make a little bit of sense. It reminds me of like, have you seen the last season of White Lotus, the mom?
Yes, I love it. I'm like, can I please just direct an episode? I'm like, I'm so obsessed.
No, I
Parker
I
Posey.
mean,
I keep thinking about her. Yeah, I'm like, she's just fantastic.
outstanding, truly.
No problem.
How did And Now I Lay Me Down shift your creative DNA?
Oh my gosh. I think that it was confidence building. I feel like there's such a high learning curve when you make a film. If you're a filmmaker, just keep making films. I let not having money stop me way too much in the past. Um, but I feel like it's just given me a lot of confidence. I really went for it. I swung big. I tend to do that. I go over the top. It's like go big or go home. That's sort of how I feel in the arts. So it's given me confidence, which is great. We need all the confidence we can get. It's still a male dominated industry. Having just done this, I'm like, okay, see, I can do it. I think it's been a confidence builder.
That's phenomenal. And I know that you mentioned there's a festival coming up in New York, but what else is next for the project?
Okay. There's the Sydney Film Fest in September, Toronto International Nollywood Film Festival in September, the Imagine This in New York, the Lady Filmmakers Festival in Beverly Hills. It's just so appropriate for that festival. I'm excited for that.
Right.
25th, and then one in Colorado called Ridgeway. And then we just got into the Ojai Film Festival, which is close to home, which is awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank
When
you.
are you screening in Toronto? I'm actually going to be in Toronto.
September 11th of all days. I'm like, I'll
I,
remember
I
that
will
day.
be in Toronto actually
You know
that
what?
day.
I'm
Yeah.
going to hold you to it.
Okay. I will come
No,
through.
no pressure.
Well, I'll be there for a film festival anyway, so it really seems like on brand.
Okay. Great.
What's next for you?
Well, I'm casting my first feature. It's called End of the Line. It's a dark comedy, similar in tone to this one. It's about an eccentric mom who takes off in her family to pursue a career in performance art. And the family struggles to find meaning in their lives, especially when she unexpectedly returns home. So it's an indie, dark comedy, dysfunctional family movie.
Yes. Did you write and direct it also?
I've not directed it yet because I don't have funds. I'm looking for funding. I wrote it, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're
Well,
in the
whoever's
initial,
watching,
yes,
she's looking for
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, always.
Where can people find you?
Sure, I'm on Instagram at Rani DeMuth, RaniDemuth. I have an unusual name, which is great now. Used to be so annoyed by it when I was growing up, but now there's only one me, and that's good.
Yeah.
And then the film site is connected to my social media. So
Awesome. Well, that's all I have for you.
great,
This has
thank
been
you.
an awesome conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
your
you
time.
so much.